Polona.pl is the fastest way to use the resources stored in the National Library. Every day, tens of thousands of scans and photographs are made to make collections available to the public as soon as possible. Pre-war cookbooks, 19th century weeklies, magazines, and medieval manuscripts. Several thousand of these precious collections are published every day. The most interesting of these are presented on the front page of Polona.pl. Each document is a separate long story. The most fascinating objects from Polona in the review section of the Digital National Library are discussed by specialists and enthusiasts. One can create their own by saving an object and simply marking it with an asterisk. To share an interesting book or any other object, you can use social networks or just send an email. Reproductions of all objects locating in the public domain are available for download in the highest quality, free of charge. All this is possible thanks to the launch of proprietary, efficient software for digitisation and archiving.
So, what could you tell us about this room?
Jesteśmy w Bibliotece Narodowej, w jednym z pomieszczeń, które służą digitalizacji naszych zbiorów.
We are in the National Library, in one of the rooms that serves as the digitization of our collections. Digitization is a difficult word, but in reality it means that our collections, which are normally only available in the library building, can be viewed everywhere via the internet. In order for them to be available on the internet, they must be digitized in rooms such as this one, by using good digitization devices, that is scanners, but not like the ones often seen in offices, flat scanners, which can scan but could also destroy our valuable collections. Therefore, the process of making our collections online begins here.
W związku z tym tutaj zaczyna się proces udostępniania naszych zbiorów przez internet.
Let's say we have a book that has 300 pages. How long does it take to digitalize this book?
To zależy, ponieważ 200-stronicowa książka może być książką z połowy XX wieku.
It depends, because a 200-page book can be a book from the middle of the 20th century, and then it can be done very quickly, because we do not have to worry so much about protecting this book. A 200-page book from the 15th century will probably be digitized in 1 or 2 days, because one person is required in this process, who photographs or scans the book. And then also an employee from the conservation department, who makes sure that nothing, absolutely nothing, happens to this book. If this is a book, it is not so difficult. The manuscripts are the most difficult. Manuscripts by nature are the only copy that exists, and therefore the proper care for them is particularly important. Then the speed of digitization suffers. However, we have to accept it, because the preservation of these objects is much more important than making them available quickly.
Więc wtedy prędkość digitalizacji cierpi. No ale musimy się z tym pogodzić, bo zachowanie tych obiektów jest jednak znacznie ważniejsze niż szybkie ich udostępnienie.
When did the digitization start in the library?
Zaczęliśmy digitalizować nasze zbiory mniej więcej 12 lat temu.
We began to digitize our collections more or less 12 years ago, but technical progress in this particular field is extremely fast. Everyone can even see it on their mobile phones. 10 years ago, photos from the mobile telephone were like this, and now you can easily print them. So technical progress is extremely fast, and we want to use the best possible devices so that the reproductions we provide are as high quality as possible and as close to the original as possible.
Które udostępniamy była jak najwyższa, jak najbliższe były oryginałowi.
Until today, how many pieces do we have?
W naszej bibliotece cyfrowej serdecznie zapraszam, polona.pl. Jest w tej chwili
In our digital library, to which I cordially invite everyone, at polona.pl, is at the moment, and it's hard to tell because I haven't checked it for a week, because it's growing all the time. I think that about 2.5 million items that can be viewed, because they are no longer protected by copyright, which is a significant hindrance when sharing such items, while 2.5 million objects can be used anywhere, at any time, by accessing the polona.pl website. At the moment, the National Library, together with the Jagiellonian Library, are running a project called Patrimonium, which by January next year, or 2020, will make available more than 1 million of the most valuable items in the library from the Polish collections.
2020 roku udostępni ponad 1 milion najcenniejszych obiektów bibliotecznych, jakie są w polskich zbiorach.
Technically, is it a hard thing to do to digitize a book, or does one have to train for it?
Tak, oczywiście prowadzimy szkolenia dla nowo przyjętych pracowników, a także dla tych, którzy już mają jakieś doświadczenie.
Yes, of course, we conduct training for newly admitted employees and also for those who already have some experience, because digitizing devices are easy to use but technically complicated. Therefore, employees need to know about the different rules that must be applied during work. For example, you can probably see that these devices have a more or less V-shape. The point is not to open the book too much, so that the back of this book does not suffer, because when we open it and then turn the pages, it certainly has an impact on the state of the book.
Następnie przewracamy kartki, to ma na pewno wpływ na to, w jakim stanie jest książka.
The issue of the influence of light on books is also very important, because in the last decades scientists have found that light is one of the greatest enemies of paper, and therefore books, manuscripts, maps, etc. are stored in darkness. They come here to the digitizing rooms, and you can see that the intensity of light during the digitization will change. The light is on only when taking a photo with 2 cameras, because 2 pages are photographed at the same time, and then the light dims. We turn the page over and again it becomes bright when taking the picture.
Jasno jest, w pełni jasno jest tylko w momencie robienia zdjęcia przy pomocy 2 aparatów fotograficznych, bo robione są jednocześnie 2 strony.
The person who digitizes must master the process so that the books return to storage in as close a state as possible to which they were taken out.
Digitalizuje, musi to wszystko dobrze opanować, tak żeby książki wróciły do magazynu w stanie jak najbliższym temu, w jakim z niego wyszły. To jest strona polona.pl, czyli cyfrowa witryna Biblioteki Narodowej.
This is polonia.pl, or the digital site of the National Library, on which we present objects that we digitize. It's available in both Polish and English, so it's easier to find what you're looking for.
I w tej chwili jest na niej 2,5 miliona obiektów, ale niestety nie wszystkie są dostępne wszędzie.
At the moment, there are 2.5 million items on the site, but unfortunately not all are available. Some of them are protected by copyright. There are 300,000 items readily accessible to the public. If you know what you're looking for, you can search using the name of the author, the title of the book, or the place you want to see on the map.
Autora, tytuł książki, miejsce, które chcemy zobaczyć na mapie. Można także szukać w treści.
You can also search in the contents, and this is something particularly special. In most digital libraries, there's no such option. You can also search based on what you're looking for, like with maps and atlases, for example. There are currently 11,000 available. You could, for example, search for Europe in the 6th century. A click in the appropriate place will generate an item of this.
I możemy sobie przeglądać je, wynaleźć coś, co nas szczególnie interesuje.
A click in the appropriate place will generate an image of this item. It is digitized in high definition, so you can get very close to the object to see the smallest of details. On this map of Gdańsk from the beginning of the 18th century, you can see not only the city itself, but even the city skyline. It may be of interest for foreign viewers who can find out more at polonia.pl.
Których zapraszamy do polona.pl, polona.pl. You are most welcome to see the National Library of Poland digital collections.
In Polona, you can find books, magazines, maps and atlases, leaflets, photographs, graphics, and drawings, manuscripts, postcards, and notes. According to these 9 basic categories, you can view both the entire Polona resources as well as the search results or the content of individual collections. Most of the facilities available in Polonium came from the public domain. Some of the objects protected by copyright are made available to all users on the basis of license granted to the library. Some of the objects protected by copyright are made available to all users on the basis of licenses granted to the library. The remaining ones are available only at special terminals available in the reading room of the National Library or other libraries in Poland that join the Republika project.